The morning sun filtered through the dusty windows of the weapons maintenance facility as Elena Petrov carefully disassembled another rifle. Her hands moved with practiced precision, each motion deliberate and efficient. The other soldiers in the workshop barely noticed her presence anymore. She had become part of the background, like the workbenches and tool racks that lined the walls. Elena had been working in this capacity for 8 months now, ever since she had volunteered for the Technical Support Division. While her male counterparts dreamed of frontline glory, she found satisfaction in the mechanical perfection of firearms. Every spring, every bolt, every sight adjustment fascinated her. She understood these weapons better than most soldiers understood their own rifles. The facility buzzed with constant activity. Weapons arrived damaged from the field, requiring everything from simple cleaning to complete reconstruction. Elena had developed a reputation for taking on the most challenging repairs. Rifles that others deemed beyond salvation somehow found new life under her careful attention. She never spoke much during work, preferring to let her results speak for themselves. Her colleagues often wondered about her background. Elena had grown up in a small village where her father ran the only gunsmith shop for miles around. From age 12, she had spent her afternoons learning the trade, starting with simple maintenance and gradually mastering more complex modifications. Her father had taught her that a weapon was only as reliable as the person who maintained it. Those lessons had stayed with her through military training and into her current assignment. The workshop supervisor, Sergeant Kowalski, had initially been skeptical about having a woman in the weapons section. His doubts had quickly faded as Elena consistently outperformed expectations. She could strip and reassemble a rifle faster than most soldiers could load a magazine. More importantly, weapons she had serviced rarely returned with problems. On this particular morning, Elena noticed something different in the atmosphere. Several senior officers had been visiting the facility, observing operations and asking detailed questions about capabilities. Rumors circulated among the staff about upcoming changes, possibly including reassignments to more active roles. Elena tried to ignore the speculation, focusing instead on the damaged scope mount she was repairing. The rifle before her told a story of hard use. The stock showed impact damage, suggesting the weapon had been used as a club. The barrel had residue patterns indicating poor maintenance in the field. Most concerning was the sight alignment, which had been knocked completely off zero. Elena methodically addressed each issue, cleaning, adjusting, and testing until the weapon met factory specifications. As she worked, Elena overheard conversations about the ongoing conflict. Supply lines were stretched thin, and equipment failures in the field had become increasingly problematic. The Technical Support Division had received orders to improve reliability standards and reduce return rates for repaired weapons. Elena understood the implications. Soldiers' lives depended on the quality of work done in facilities like this one. Her attention to detail had not gone unnoticed by the command structure. Elena had received commendations for her work, though she rarely attended the formal ceremonies. She preferred the quiet satisfaction of knowing that weapons bearing her maintenance tags performed reliably when it mattered most. Each properly functioning rifle potentially meant the difference between a soldier returning home safely or becoming a casualty. The day progressed with its usual rhythm of arrivals, repairs, and departures. Elena completed work on 6 rifles before the lunch break, each one tested and verified to meet specifications. As she cleaned her tools and prepared to leave her workstation, Sergeant Kowalski approached with an unusual request. The command had specifically asked for Elena to remain after regular hours to work on some specialized equipment that would be arriving later. Elena agreed without hesitation, though she wondered about the nature of the special assignment. In her experience, after-hours work usually involved either extremely damaged equipment or weapons requiring modifications beyond standard procedures. Either way, she looked forward to the challenge. The opportunity to work without the usual workshop distractions appealed to her methodical nature. As the other workers departed for the day, Elena organized her tools and prepared for whatever awaited her. She had no way of knowing that this evening would mark the beginning of a journey that would take her far from the quiet workshop where she had found purpose and recognition. The specialized equipment arriving later would change not only her military career but also her understanding of her own capabilities and potential. The convoy arrived just as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the compound. Elena watched from the workshop window as 3 military vehicles pulled up to the main building. The lead vehicle carried markings she didn't recognize, suggesting this equipment came from a specialized unit rather than regular infantry. 20 minutes later, Sergeant Kowalski returned with 2 officers Elena had never seen before. The senior officer, a tall man with graying temples, introduced himself as Major Harrison from the Sniper Training Division. His companion, Captain Torres, carried himself with the quiet confidence Elena associated with field veterans. The equipment they brought made Elena's pulse quicken with professional interest. 4 precision rifles, each one a masterpiece of engineering compared to the standard weapons she usually maintained. These were specialized sniper systems, complete with advanced optics and custom modifications. The rifles showed signs of intensive use but had been well cared for by their operators. Major Harrison explained the situation with unusual directness. The sniper program was expanding, and they needed someone with Elena's skills to handle maintenance for these precision weapons. However, this assignment came with additional responsibilities. The person selected would need to understand not just how to repair these rifles, but how they performed under various conditions and ranges. Elena examined the weapons with growing fascination. The tolerances required for sniper rifles demanded a level of precision far beyond standard military weapons. Every component had to work in perfect harmony to achieve the accuracy these systems were designed for. She could see modifications that had been made to suit individual shooters, customizations that spoke to the intimate relationship between sniper and rifle. Captain Torres had been observing Elena's examination of the weapons. He asked several technical questions about barrel harmonics and scope mounting systems. Elena's answers demonstrated not only her mechanical knowledge, but also her understanding of how theoretical principles translated into practical performance. The captain nodded approvingly at her responses. The major then revealed the full nature of the assignment. Elena would be temporarily attached to the sniper training program, not just as a maintenance specialist but as a student. The program had concluded that weapons technicians needed to understand shooting fundamentals to properly maintain precision rifles. Elena would learn marksmanship alongside her technical duties. Elena felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. She had always been curious about the shooting side of weapons, but her role had kept her focused on the mechanical aspects. The opportunity to learn from actual snipers represented a significant expansion of her skills and responsibilities. At the same time, she worried about leaving the familiar environment of the workshop. Sergeant Kowalski assured Elena that her position in the maintenance division would remain secure. This assignment was temporary, designed to create better coordination between the technical and operational sides of the sniper program. Elena's performance in this role could open doors to more specialized positions within the military structure. The timeline was aggressive. Elena would report to the sniper training facility the following Monday, giving her only the weekend to prepare. Major Harrison provided her with technical manuals and performance specifications for the precision rifles. He emphasized that her mechanical expertise was exactly what the program needed to improve weapon reliability in the field. Captain Torres offered some practical advice about the training environment. The sniper program attracted highly motivated individuals who took their craft seriously. Elena's technical background would be respected, but she would need to prove herself on the shooting range just like any other student. The standards were demanding, and not everyone who entered the program successfully completed it. Elena spent the evening studying the materials provided by Major Harrison. The precision rifles operated on the same basic principles as standard weapons, but every component was engineered to much tighter specifications. Environmental factors that barely affected regular rifles could significantly impact precision shooting. Temperature, humidity, wind, and even the time of day could influence performance. The more Elena read, the more she appreciated the complexity of precision shooting. Successful snipers needed to understand ballistics, weather, camouflage, observation, and patience in addition to marksmanship fundamentals. The technical aspects that fascinated Elena were just one part of a much larger skill set. As she prepared for bed, Elena reflected on how quickly her situation had changed. That morning, she had been content with her role in the workshop, focused on the mechanical perfection of weapons maintenance. Now she faced the prospect of learning an entirely different aspect of military service, one that would test abilities she had never developed. The opportunity excited her more than she had expected. Elena had always been drawn to challenges that required both technical knowledge and practical application. The sniper program promised to combine her existing expertise with new skills in ways she couldn't yet fully imagine. Whatever happened over the coming weeks, she knew this assignment would change her perspective on both weapons and her own potential within the military. The sniper training facility occupied a sprawling complex 30 miles from Elena's previous assignment. As she drove through the main gate Monday morning, Elena noticed the differences immediately. Everything here spoke of precision and professionalism. The buildings were newer, the grounds meticulously maintained, and the security more thorough than anything she had previously experienced. Elena reported to the administrative building, where she met the other members of her training class. 12 individuals had been selected for this specialized program, including herself. Most were infantry soldiers with demonstrated marksmanship skills, though 2 others came from technical backgrounds similar to Elena's. The group represented various military specialties, united by their selection for advanced training. The program director, Colonel Mitchell, addressed the new arrivals with characteristic military directness. The next 8 weeks would test every aspect of their abilities. Physical conditioning, marksmanship, fieldcraft, observation, and tactical knowledge would all be evaluated continuously. Approximately half of those who started the program would successfully complete it. Elena's first surprise came during the initial equipment issue. Each student received a precision rifle system matched to their physical characteristics and shooting style. Elena's rifle was a custom-built platform featuring the latest in optical technology and ergonomic design. The weapon felt different from anything she had previously handled, balanced and purposeful in ways that spoke to its specialized nature. The morning began with classroom instruction, covering the fundamentals of precision shooting. Elena discovered that marksmanship at extended ranges involved far more variables than she had realized. Bullet trajectory, wind drift, atmospheric pressure, and target movement all required mathematical calculations that had to be performed quickly and accurately under stress. Instructor Sergeant Davis had 20 years of experience in precision shooting, including multiple combat deployments. He explained concepts with the clarity that came from practical application, rather than theoretical knowledge. Elena found herself taking extensive notes, trying to absorb information that connected her mechanical understanding of weapons with their actual performance. The afternoon brought Elena's first time on the precision shooting range. The facility featured multiple firing positions at distances ranging from 100 to 1,000 meters. Students began at shorter ranges, focusing on establishing proper shooting fundamentals before progressing to longer distances. Elena approached the firing line with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Her first shots were disappointing. Despite her intimate knowledge of how rifles functioned, Elena struggled with the physical aspects of precision shooting. Breathing control, trigger manipulation, and body position all required coordination she had never developed. The targets that looked so close through the rifle scope seemed impossibly small when she tried to hit them consistently. Sergeant Davis worked with each student individually, offering corrections and encouragement. When he reached Elena, he observed her shooting for several minutes before offering advice. Her mechanical understanding gave her advantages in rifle handling, but she needed to develop the muscle memory and mental discipline that came only through practice. Elena's technical background did prove valuable in unexpected ways. When another student experienced equipment problems, Elena quickly diagnosed and corrected a scope mounting issue that had been affecting accuracy. Her ability to spot mechanical problems impressed both instructors and fellow students, establishing her credibility within the group. The day concluded with weapon maintenance instruction. Elena already knew most of the procedures, but the precision rifles required attention to details that standard weapons could tolerate. Cleaning routines, lubrication schedules, and storage requirements all operated according to stricter standards than Elena had previously encountered. During evening study time, Elena reviewed her performance and identified areas needing improvement. Her shooting scores had been among the lowest in the class, though she understood the reasons and had plans for addressing them. Her equipment knowledge was clearly superior to most other students, suggesting opportunities to contribute to the group's overall success. Elena's roommate was Sarah Chen, a military police officer who had qualified for the program through exceptional performance in competitive shooting. Sarah offered practical advice about managing the physical demands of precision shooting, sharing techniques she had learned through years of competition experience. The conversation revealed interesting differences in their backgrounds. Sarah had extensive shooting experience but limited technical knowledge about weapon systems. Elena possessed deep mechanical understanding but minimal shooting experience. They agreed to help each other with their respective strengths and weaknesses. As Elena prepared for bed, she reflected on the complexity of what she had undertaken. The program demanded excellence in multiple areas simultaneously. Physical skills, mental discipline, technical knowledge, and tactical understanding all had to develop together. Elena felt challenged in ways she hadn't experienced since her initial military training. The next 7 weeks would test her determination and ability to learn. Elena understood that success required more than just applying her existing knowledge to new situations. She would need to develop entirely new capabilities while maintaining the standards that had brought her to this opportunity. The precision rifles that had initially attracted her attention were proving to be gateways to a much larger world of specialized military service. 3 weeks into the program, Elena had established herself as someone who could solve technical problems but continued struggling with consistent accuracy on the range. Her shooting scores had improved but remained in the bottom third of the class. The pressure was mounting as the first major evaluation approached, and students who failed to meet standards would be removed from the program. Elena spent extra hours on the practice range, working through the fundamentals that other students seemed to master more naturally. Her analytical mind kept trying to solve shooting like a mechanical problem, but precision marksmanship required intuitive skills that couldn't be calculated or reasoned through. The harder she tried to think her way to better accuracy, the more elusive consistent performance became. Sergeant Davis had been observing Elena's struggles with growing concern. He recognized her dedication and technical value to the program, but shooting standards were non-negotiable. During a private conversation, he suggested Elena might be overthinking the process. Sometimes the best approach was to trust the fundamentals and let muscle memory take over, rather than trying to control every variable. The breakthrough came during an unexpected moment. Elena was helping another student, Marcus, diagnose problems with his rifle's performance. While examining his shooting position and equipment setup, Elena noticed several issues that were affecting his accuracy. As she explained the corrections needed, Marcus asked Elena to demonstrate the proper technique. Elena settled into the shooting position she had been describing, focusing entirely on showing Marcus the correct form rather than worrying about her own performance. Her attention was on teaching rather than scoring, and her body naturally adopted the relaxed, controlled posture that had been eluding her for weeks. When she fired the demonstration shots, all 5 rounds grouped within a quarter inch at 200 meters. Marcus stared at the target in amazement, then asked Elena why she couldn't shoot like that during formal evaluations. Elena realized that her performance anxiety had been sabotaging her shooting. When she focused on helping others rather than worrying about her own scores, her technical knowledge and physical training worked together naturally. The next day brought the first major evaluation, with students shooting at various distances under time pressure. Elena approached the firing line with a different mindset, treating the test as an opportunity to demonstrate proper technique rather than a judgment of her worth as a soldier. The change in mental approach produced immediate results. Elena's scores on the evaluation ranked 4th in the class, a dramatic improvement that surprised everyone, including herself. More importantly, her consistency had improved significantly. The wild variations that had characterized her early shooting had been replaced by predictable, repeatable performance that could be relied upon under pressure. The success opened new opportunities within the program. Elena was selected for advanced training in equipment modification and field maintenance of precision systems. This specialized track would prepare her to support sniper teams in operational environments, combining her technical expertise with the shooting skills she was developing. Elena's relationship with her classmates also evolved. Initially seen as the technical expert who struggled with shooting, she now commanded respect for her overall capabilities. Students regularly sought her advice on equipment problems, and her shooting tips proved valuable to those dealing with their own accuracy challenges. Sergeant Davis acknowledged Elena's transformation during a program review meeting. Her combination of technical knowledge and developing shooting skills made her uniquely valuable to the sniper community. The military needed specialists who could bridge the gap between equipment capabilities and operational requirements, and Elena was proving she could fill that role effectively. The advanced training phase introduced Elena to specialized equipment she had only read about previously. Night vision systems, range-finding devices, and communication equipment all required technical understanding beyond basic operation. Elena's background allowed her to grasp these systems quickly and help other students overcome their own learning challenges. Elena also began working with the facility's master gunsmith, an older civilian contractor named Bill Morrison, who had been building precision rifles for over 30 years. Morrison recognized Elena's potential immediately and began teaching her advanced modification techniques that weren't part of the standard curriculum. These sessions occurred during off-duty hours and represented an unofficial apprenticeship in precision weapon craftsmanship. Morrison explained that the best weapon technicians understood shooting because they could optimize equipment for real-world performance, rather than just theoretical specifications. Elena's developing marksmanship skills were making her a better technician, while her technical knowledge was making her a more effective shooter. The combination was relatively rare and highly valued. As the fourth week concluded, Elena reflected on how much her situation had changed. The anxiety and uncertainty of her early days in the program had been replaced by growing confidence and expanding opportunities. She had found her place within the specialized community of precision shooting, contributing technical expertise while continuing to develop her own capabilities. The remaining weeks would bring even greater challenges, including field exercises and advanced tactical training. Elena looked forward to these tests, knowing she had overcome the most significant barriers to success. Her unique combination of skills was becoming recognized as an asset, rather than a curiosity, opening doors to opportunities she hadn't previously imagined possible. The 6th week of training brought the arrival of the program's most challenging instructor. Staff Sergeant Jake Sullivan had earned his reputation through multiple combat deployments and held records at several military shooting competitions. His presence at the facility meant the students would face their most demanding evaluations yet, including scenarios designed to test performance under extreme stress. Sullivan's teaching style differed dramatically from the methodical approach Elena had grown accustomed to. He believed in pushing students beyond their comfort zones, creating pressure situations that revealed both strengths and weaknesses. His first session with Elena's class involved shooting while physically exhausted, simulating the conditions snipers might face in actual operations. Elena performed well during these stress tests, her technical understanding helping her maintain equipment function even when physical fatigue affected her shooting accuracy. Sullivan noticed her ability to diagnose and correct equipment problems quickly, even under pressure. However, he also observed that Elena still relied too heavily on conscious thought processes rather than developing the instinctive responses that characterized expert marksmen. The real test came during an advanced field exercise designed to simulate extended operations. Students worked in teams, with each member responsible for both shooting performance and equipment maintenance over a 3-day period. Elena was paired with David Rodriguez, a former infantry soldier whose shooting skills were exceptional, but who struggled with the technical aspects of precision rifles. The exercise location was a remote training area featuring varied terrain and multiple shooting positions. Teams moved between different scenarios, engaging targets at various ranges while managing their equipment and maintaining operational security. The scenarios were designed to test every skill the students had developed over the previous weeks. Elena and David worked well together initially, with Elena handling equipment management while David focused on engaging targets. However, the extended nature of the exercise began revealing equipment problems that required field solutions. Standard maintenance procedures weren't sufficient when operating away from workshop facilities with limited tools and spare parts. On the second day, David's rifle developed a problem that Elena had never encountered before. The precision scope had been damaged during a movement between positions, causing a shift in zero that made accurate shooting impossible. Elena examined the system carefully, trying to determine whether field repairs were possible or if the team would have to continue with degraded capability. Staff Sergeant Sullivan had been observing the team's performance throughout the exercise. He approached Elena and David's position just as Elena finished her assessment of the damaged scope. Rather than offering assistance, Sullivan presented them with an additional challenge. He produced a backup rifle from his equipment and set it on the ground between them. Sullivan's challenge was simple but daunting. Elena had been adjusting and maintaining rifles throughout the program, but always in controlled workshop conditions with proper tools and time. Now she had to zero a completely unfamiliar rifle under field conditions, using only the equipment available in a standard sniper kit. Furthermore, she had to accomplish this task within 30 minutes to continue the exercise. Elena accepted the challenge with growing excitement rather than anxiety. This scenario represented exactly the kind of problem-solving she had always enjoyed, combining technical knowledge with practical application under pressure. She began by examining the backup rifle systematically, checking every component to understand its current condition and requirements. The rifle was in good mechanical condition, but had been deliberately de-zeroed for the exercise. Elena would need to establish a baseline zero, then fine-tune the scope settings to achieve precision accuracy. Under normal circumstances, this process might take several hours with multiple range sessions. Elena had to accomplish the same result in 30 minutes using field-expedient methods. David watched with growing amazement as Elena worked through the zeroing process with systematic efficiency. She used techniques she had learned from Bill Morrison during their after-hours sessions, combined with theoretical knowledge gained through her technical background. Every adjustment was calculated and purposeful, building toward the final zero without wasted time or ammunition. Sullivan observed the process with professional interest. Elena's approach demonstrated the kind of field problem-solving that separated good technicians from exceptional ones. She was adapting classroom knowledge to real-world constraints, finding solutions that worked within the limitations of time, tools, and environment. With 10 minutes remaining, Elena had the rifle zeroed at 100 meters and was making final adjustments for longer-range performance. She handed the rifle to David and directed him to a target at 300 meters. David's first shot struck within 2 inches of the intended point of impact, confirming that Elena's field zero was accurate enough for operational use. Sullivan nodded approvingly at the result, then added an unexpected element to the challenge. He pointed to a target at 600 meters, well beyond the range Elena had zeroed for, and suggested she demonstrate the rifle's performance personally. Elena realized that Sullivan was testing not just her technical abilities, but her confidence in her own work and shooting skills. Elena studied the target through the rifle scope, calculating the additional elevation needed for the extended range. The wind had picked up since her zeroing work, adding another variable to consider. She made the necessary scope adjustments and settled into a shooting position, aware that Sullivan, David, and several other students were watching her performance. The shot felt good as soon as Elena fired, her body position and trigger control working together smoothly. Through the scope, she could see the bullet impact less than 3 inches from the target center. Sullivan grinned with satisfaction at the result, recognizing that Elena had successfully completed one of the most challenging field tests in the program. Staff Sergeant Sullivan's grin after Elena's successful 600-meter shot marked a turning point that extended far beyond the immediate exercise. Word of her field zeroing accomplishment spread quickly through the training facility, earning respect from instructors and students alike. Elena had demonstrated the rare combination of technical expertise and practical shooting skills that the military valued most highly in precision shooting specialists. The exercise continued for one more day, but Elena's confidence had been transformed by Sullivan's challenge. She no longer approached shooting as a problem to be solved through analysis alone. Instead, she had learned to trust her developing instincts while applying her technical knowledge to support, rather than override her natural abilities. The integration of these skills marked her emergence as a complete precision shooting specialist. Colonel Mitchell called Elena to his office the day after the exercise concluded. The meeting revealed opportunities that Elena hadn't previously considered. The sniper program was expanding beyond traditional roles, incorporating technical specialists who could support operations in ways that pure shooters couldn't. Elena's performance had identified her as a candidate for these advanced positions. The colonel explained that modern military operations increasingly required specialists who could bridge multiple disciplines. Equipment complexity was growing, and field conditions often demanded technical solutions that couldn't be provided through standard supply channels. Elena's combination of shooting proficiency and technical expertise made her uniquely qualified for assignments that would support elite units in challenging environments. Elena learned that her success in the program had been noted at levels far above the training facility. Special operations units were specifically requesting personnel with her skill set for upcoming missions that would test equipment under extreme conditions. These assignments would involve working directly with operational teams, providing technical support while participating in actual missions. The prospect excited Elena more than she had expected. Her military career had begun with modest goals focused on technical specialization. The sniper program had opened her eyes to possibilities she hadn't previously imagined. Now she was being offered opportunities to apply her growing expertise in real-world situations that would make direct contributions to mission success. Sullivan approached Elena after her meeting with the colonel, offering insights based on his extensive operational experience. He explained that the transition from training to operations would present new challenges requiring continued adaptation and learning. Elena's willingness to accept Sullivan's field challenge demonstrated the kind of mindset that succeeded in operational environments. Elena's final weeks in the program focused on advanced techniques that prepared her for independent operations. She learned equipment modification procedures that could be performed in field conditions, troubleshooting methods for exotic equipment failures, and communication protocols for coordinating with operational units. The training was intensive and demanding, but Elena thrived under the increased responsibility. Bill Morrison, the master gunsmith, offered Elena an unofficial recommendation that would influence her future assignments. His assessment emphasized Elena's rare combination of technical innovation and practical shooting skills. Morrison had worked with military specialists for decades and recognized Elena as someone with exceptional potential for contributing to precision shooting. Elena's shooting scores during the final evaluations ranked second in her class, a dramatic improvement from her early struggles. More importantly, her consistency and performance under pressure had reached levels that qualified her for the most demanding assignments. The technical skills that had initially been her primary strength now supported rather than compensated for her shooting abilities. The graduation ceremony brought recognition that extended beyond Elena's individual achievements. She received the program's Technical Excellence Award for her contributions to equipment development and problem-solving throughout the training period. Several innovations she had suggested during the course were being considered for broader implementation across the sniper community. Elena's new assignment would take her to a special operations base where she would support multiple teams with equipment, maintenance, and field modifications. The position combined all aspects of her training while offering opportunities for continued professional development. She would work directly with some of the military's most elite operators while contributing to mission success through her specialized expertise. Sarah Chen, Elena's roommate throughout the program, had also successfully graduated and would be heading to a different assignment. Their friendship had been built on mutual support through the program's challenges, and both recognized how much they had learned from each other's perspectives. Sarah's competitive shooting background had helped Elena develop consistency, while Elena's technical knowledge had improved Sarah's equipment management skills. As Elena prepared to leave the training facility, she reflected on the transformation she had experienced over the previous 8 weeks. Her understanding of precision shooting had evolved from purely technical interest to comprehensive expertise that integrated multiple disciplines. The shy technician who had entered the program had been replaced by a confident specialist ready to contribute to operational success. The precision rifles that had initially fascinated Elena for their mechanical sophistication now represented tools for accomplishing missions that could affect national security. Her ability to maintain, modify, and employ these systems effectively made her a valuable asset to units that operated in the most challenging environments. The technical skills that had defined her early military career had become the foundation for much greater responsibilities and opportunities. Elena's departure from the training facility marked the beginning of a new phase in her military service, one that would test her abilities in ways the controlled environment of the program couldn't simulate. Elena's new assignment brought her to Forward Operating Base Hawk, a remote facility supporting special operations in a contested region. The base hummed with purposeful activity as multiple teams prepared for missions requiring precision and stealth. Elena's arrival coincided with preparations for an operation that would test every skill she had developed over the previous months. The mission briefing revealed the complexity of modern special operations. Elena would accompany Team Alpha, a 6-person unit tasked with establishing overwatch positions for a larger operation. Her role involved maintaining team weapons while providing precision shooting support if required. The dual responsibility represented exactly the kind of integrated specialist position the sniper program had prepared her for. Team Alpha's leader, Captain Marcus Webb, had specifically requested a technical specialist with shooting capabilities. Previous missions had been compromised by equipment failures that couldn't be resolved in the field. Elena's combination of skills offered solutions to problems that had plagued special operations for years. Webb made it clear that Elena would be a full team member, not just technical support. The team's equipment included the most advanced precision rifles Elena had encountered, featuring modular designs that allowed field reconfiguration for different mission requirements. Electronic systems integrated with the rifles provided range finding, environmental monitoring, and ballistic calculation capabilities. Elena spent hours familiarizing herself with these systems, understanding both their capabilities and potential failure modes. Elena's teammate designation was Overwatch 2, indicating her role as backup precision shooter for the team's primary sniper. The position required her to maintain situational awareness while managing equipment for the entire team. Elena would need to balance multiple responsibilities simultaneously while remaining ready to provide precision fire support if circumstances required. The insertion occurred during pre-dawn hours, with the team moving through difficult terrain to reach their assigned Overwatch position. Elena carried specialized tools and spare parts in addition to her personal weapon system, making her load heavier than other team members. The physical challenge pushed her conditioning to its limits, but Elena maintained pace without compromising team movement. The Overwatch position offered commanding views of the operational area, while providing concealment from potential threats. Elena established equipment maintenance stations while other team members prepared fighting positions and communication systems. Her systematic approach to equipment organization impressed Webb, who recognized the value of having technical expertise embedded within the operational team. 3 hours into the mission, Elena faced her first significant challenge. The team's primary communication system experienced intermittent failures that threatened to compromise mission coordination. Elena diagnosed the problem as moisture infiltration into connector assemblies, a common issue in the humid environment, but one that could be resolved with proper field maintenance procedures. Elena's repair work was interrupted by movement in the operational area below their position. Hostile forces had apparently detected the larger operation and were moving to counter it. Team Alpha's mission shifted from passive overwatch to active engagement, requiring immediate transition from technical work to precision shooting support. The team's primary sniper engaged the most immediate threats, while Elena provided supporting fire on secondary targets. Her position offered different angles on the target area, allowing coordinated engagement that prevented hostile forces from establishing effective cover. Elena's shooting was steady and accurate. Each shot carefully aimed to maximize effectiveness while conserving ammunition. The engagement continued for 20 minutes before hostile forces withdrew from the immediate area. Elena had fired 12 rounds and achieved 11 hits on enemy personnel, performance that exceeded expectations for someone recently graduated from training. More importantly, she had maintained equipment functionality throughout the engagement while contributing to mission success. Captain Webb's after-action assessment highlighted Elena's contributions. During both the technical and combat phases of the mission, her ability to resolve equipment problems quickly had maintained team communication capabilities, while her shooting performance had provided essential fire support during the engagement. The combination validated the concept of integrated technical specialists within operational teams. Elena's success on the mission led to additional opportunities with increasingly challenging requirements. Special operations commanders recognized the value of specialists who could bridge technical and operational capabilities. Elena found herself supporting missions that pushed the boundaries of what was considered possible with precision shooting systems. Over the following months, Elena's reputation grew within the special operations community. Her innovations in field equipment modification became standard procedures for multiple units. More importantly, her demonstrated ability to perform under operational stress while maintaining technical excellence made her a sought-after team member for the most demanding missions. Elena's journey from quiet workshop technician to operational specialist represented a transformation that exceeded her original expectations. When she had first volunteered for the sniper program, the precision rifles that had initially attracted her technical interest had become tools for contributing to national security objectives in ways she couldn't have previously imagined. The skills Elena developed through her military service would continue serving her throughout her career, whether in continued military service or eventual transition to civilian applications. Her unique combination of technical expertise and operational experience positioned her for leadership roles within the precision shooting community. Training future specialists who would face similar challenges, Elena's story demonstrated how individual dedication and willingness to accept challenges could lead to opportunities that transformed both personal capabilities and professional trajectories. The shy technician who had silently adjusted rifles in a maintenance workshop had become a respected specialist whose contributions extended far beyond equipment maintenance to include direct participation in operations that protected national interests and saved lives.